All right, hello everybody. Okay, first things first, file name. What is the file name for the bid war?
Our file name choice, as decided by our lovely donors, is Luigi.
Luigi, okay. Perfect. Luigi. All right, hopefully I didn't spell that wrong. Okay, we have a long intro cutscene coming up at the start. So I'm gonna start the run and then run the introductions. Trust me, we'll have plenty of time. So let's start that timer in 3, 2, 1, go! All right, anyways. Hello everybody, so my name is Linkus7 and today we're gonna be doing a run of Wind Waker. This is gonna be the any % category, so beat this game as fast as possible. There's gonna be plenty of glitches and skips. If you look at the time estimate, it will be around 1 hour, which is probably a little bit shorter than you're used to for how long a game like Wind Waker should take. So we're in for a treat. Also on the couch, I have 2 commentators with me.
Yeah, I'm EJ125, a runner and glitch hunter.
Hey, I'm trogww, I'm a tool-assisted speedrunner.
And researcher. Don't undersell yourself. But yeah, so coming up now, so Wind Waker, there has been a lot of developments. The last time that Wind Waker any % was at Games Done Quick was all the way back in 2020. And in the last 5 years since then, a lot has happened. The times have dropped down by almost 20 minutes, which is a lot for an any % category. And it's going to be packed with glitches. It's almost going to be hard to explain everything that's going to be happening because it's going to be non-stop. The first thing that we definitely want to explain is this intro. Very important lore, don't forget. Evil man, hero. Yep, that's pretty much it. So we're going to get through that. Now, immediately when we get into Outset Island, we're going to get into the glitches straight away. So I'm actually going to start by explaining a couple of fundamental things that you might be wondering about this run, because there's not going to be time when we actually get into gameplay of a control over Link. So first things first, why is the game in Japanese? Very simple, text is faster. The glitches are about the same between the versions, but the text saves almost 20 minutes if you were to do like a full playthrough. So we definitely want to play that. The second thing that we're going to be getting into immediately is trying to abuse the overall mechanics. If you think about Wind Waker, you always think about the boat, you think about the ocean, anything like that. So that is always going to be the biggest hindrance when it comes to getting around Wind Waker or sequence breaking. It's always going to be, how can we get around the ocean? And the Nintendo's developers' way of preventing
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but while we're doing some lore, can I announce that we hit $100,000? Excellent job, everyone. Okay, thank you so much. Continue with the pirating, please.
Amazing job. Yeah, don't forget to donate, great cause. But yeah, so when we get into it, so the way Nintendo tried to prevent you from this, right, is you have a boat. And he has a bunch of dialogue. He's constantly going to be telling you, hey, you're not supposed to go here yet. And he turns you around and you can't get around. In this run, we are not going to sail a single time. And that is through a lot of different glitches. So in general, Nintendo loves this one oversight in their games, which is negative speed. So if you ever watched a classic speedrun like Super Mario 64, you're going to be noticing that they're going to be doing backwards long jumps, right? They're going to be doing backwards long jumps on the staircase to get a ton of speed and go up. And there's a bunch of other games that have similar exploits, and it all comes down to the fact that they never think about the player going backwards, so they only cap your forward momentum. And that is the same thing in Wind Waker, because it's a GameCube game. It looks great, but it is almost 25 years old now, so it does remain one of those classic games that has this exploit, and we're going to be taking advantage of that a lot throughout this run. So we're finally coming up on the end of this long cutscene. I feel like I've been talking for forever. Yeah, so now we're coming into it. The first objective we have is to get off of the island, the outside island, right? It's a really long island. It's kind of like the tutorial / lore island. It takes about 15-20 minutes for a speedrunner to get through, and maybe an hour if you're a casual, right? Supposed to go around and talk to all the NPCs, get my sword, and get through all the equipment. Here's her sister, who's gonna start the cutscene. So when we get control over Link, exactly. So throughout the years of Wind Waker speedrunning, there's been an exploit that if you've ever seen a Wind Waker run, you will know about. It's called super swimming, right? It's something that is very common, and it's usually done through the use of the Wind Waker item. And we still do have that in the run. However, as the years have gone on, and as speedrunners have wanting to get more and more time saves out of this run, we've started to look into alternate ways to super swim. So a couple of years ago, there was a big meme going around about pausa, you know, DJ pausa. And we basically tried to perform the super swim glitch by pause buffering the game. But that's no longer a thing. So the main exploit is just you want to turn around in the water, and you need to turn around more times than you're swimming. So that means at least 15 times per second you need to be turning around. And, you know, it's not realistic for a human to be turning around more than 15, 20 times a second, you know, without pause buffering, right? Think again, because I have spent the last few years working up a bicep for this specific glitch. So, only one though, because, you know, I'm not actually going to do anything physical, just speedrun. So, you're going to be noticing that this is going to look quite different from what you're used to. So I'm going to enter this water right now, and I'm just going to show you before I start this. You're going to see this very easily. So if I'm swimming right, I'm gaining speed, and if I'm turning around, you can kind of see that Link slows down. He doesn't really move. That's what we're going to be exploiting. We're going to be exploiting the turning around mode. So what I'm going to try and do is this. Let's see if I can get this. So I can't really talk much because it's really intense, so give me a second. So I'm trying to turn around as quickly as I can, and normally I just do this in one pause, but I'm going to pause. So I'm going to try and turn around, and every time I'm turning around, I'm getting a little bit more negative speed, and my objective is to get at least 500 units. And for context, as a casual, you would only get maybe like, you know, you would maybe get only around 25, 30 units. So now I'm switching to a normal controller. This controller is not my worn out one, because you might be able to imagine that trick is quite intense on the controller. So what I'm going to try and do right now is I'm going to try and go for this air refill spot. And if I got enough speed, let's see if we did. Hopefully we did.
Well done.
Then,
Nice.
then we can initiate a super swim. No pause buffers, just a very tired Swedish boy. I'm getting very unlucky right here with the speed glitch. Hopefully snap out of it.
Yeah, you got plenty of air.
There we go. Okay, so I'm going to be charging up more speed. So right now, I'm doing what I was doing before. It's just doing it automatically for me. So the camera is basically turning around every single frame right now. And my goal here is to go here, get an air refill, and then hopefully, if I don't drop this, I should be able to make it across the entire ocean, and hopefully make it all the way to Dragon Roost. Let's see. And we did it. Okay. Okay.
Easy game.
Yeah, that was the trick I was the most nervous about, because that trick is already very physical to do, and yeah, doing it with nerves, not easy. But yeah, so I turn around there, and you saw right there generally how the Super Swim glitch works, right? I'm turning around, and as long as you're turning around, you're gaining negative speed, just like Mario 64. In the beginning, I do to build it up here with my secondary controller. This is the normal game controller, but very worn out. So yeah, flick the analog stick up and down. If I do fast enough, I can get enough speed, and I can get off the island. And now we're all the way at Dragon Roost. And the very convenient thing is, even though we don't have King of Red Lions, even though this cutscene is totally messed up because, you know, the boat is not here, I will still be receiving my Wind Waker because this cutscene is just placed here. And this completely breaks the game. And the most important aspect of the Wind Waker is that I can do super swims without having to do it manually now. So if you've ever played a Zelda game with an instrument, which is the majority of them, you're probably going to notice that, you know, when you're playing an instrument, there's a couple of, you know, special properties the game developers put in. So, for example, right now, if I'm facing away from the camera and I take out the Wind Waker, Link is going to turn around, right? You want to see Link. You don't want to, you know, look on his back when he's playing the instrument. And we're going to take advantage of that. So by performing this glitch called Storage right here, which is done by diving with the Wind Waker and canceling right before you land, I'm going to be able to play with the Wind Waker out. I'm not just going to be stuck playing a song. But the important thing is, since the camera always has to face Link, if I just hold up in the water, he'll be turning around automatically for me. I don't have to like turn around anymore. So because the game is, that's unfortunate, Sploosh. So because Link is programmed to always face the camera, if I'm just holding up to turn around, camera is turning around for me and I'm able to charge speed. And now we're gonna be able to do super swims.
And so now he doesn't need to do the manual version of this at this point. He can just hold up on the stick, be able to gain speed.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, while we're swimming, do you have time for another quick announcement?
Yeah, of course.
Because we also have met the Lord of the Rings cosplay incentive, like, while we were super swimming. By the way, oh my God, I'm staring with awe, and so are the donors. So please, if you have any time for donations, we have so much love.
Trust me, there is plenty of cutscenes later on. It's very intense at the start, and then we're gonna spend plenty of time.
Oh, I love cutscenes.
Ooh, beautiful in one.
So I'm
there.
gonna super swim into this submarine, and you're gonna see something interesting. I'm gonna go up to this guard. He's gonna go, huh? He's gonna throw down the lantern, and then it's gonna bring me from the overworld, and it's pretty much going to wrong warp me straight into the jail cell of Forsaken Fortress. And basically, in Wind Waker, right, there's two moblins. There is a moblin with a lantern and in the overworld, and then there's the guard. But to save resources, Nintendo pretty much has the same enemy for both of those things. It just checks if you have a sword. Because normally, if you don't sequence break, you would always have a sword, and it would act as a normal enemy. But because of my sequence breaking, the game thinks I should be in Forsaken Fortress right now, so it throws me in jail. I head over here, and now we're in Forsaken Fortress, and the main purpose for going here is just kind of to get the sword and get a couple of story things progressed, because we have to still progress it somewhat to be able to beat the game. Right here, before, I'm coming up on another few glitches, but we definitely have time for a couple of donations while I'm kind of going through here more casually with the enemy.
Wonderful, wonderful. I've got $5 for you from Beetle, who says, oh, wow, a customer. He's swimming. Oh, heck, he's going really fast, and he's gone. Bye. That donation went to the cosplay incentive. Thank you so much. We also have $250 from Frozen Truly, who says, good luck on the run. Nice jacket, you Giga Chad.
Thanks, Frozen. I appreciate it. Beautiful. Yeah, so while we were reading some donations right there, we picked up a couple of rupees. We went down to the bottom right there, and that is because to activate the sword. So the game doesn't actually physically drop the sword. It just checks if you were around the landing area to know should the sword be placed out or not, which is why we went down there. Now, when I'm in the inside of Forsaken Fortress, I'm gonna try and speed this up to get to the end as quickly as I can. So I'm gonna get the storage glitch again. Now, storage, you're gonna hear if I press A, by the way, that the chest is trying to open, but it's not too happy. So, you remember how I said earlier that I'm able to play in the Wind Waker mode? Well, with this storage glitch, that's not the only thing I'm able to play. So I can interrupt opening up a chest. So I'm pretty much playing while a chest is opening right now. And the reason that's so important is because the game actually changes how your collision works while opening up a chest, which lets us do some very funky things. So because the game is trying right now to open up a chest, I can kind of just climb up all of this collision, maintain it, get to the very end of Forsaken Fortress, and
Get paid.
And get paid for it, exactly. Thank you. And now that's pretty much Forsaken Fortress. It's going to be a very broken run. There's going to continue to be more and more effects like this. And there's just so much things. If you're a game developer and you're watching this, I'm sure that there's a lot of, tricks you do behind the scenes to try and make things work. So as just a quick example there, why that chest, does that collision it does, it's just to perform the animation in game. It's not a pre-rendered cutscene. So to be able to have, going to the chest and do, the traditional do-do-do-do-do-do, and, he turns around, shows off the item, he's super excited. For him to be able to, lean into the chest and do that, they had to shrink his hitbox. But because we don't finish it and we're kind of in that cutscene, we get to keep it and we just get to use its effect for our advantage, which was used to climb up there. But now we're at the end of Forsaken Fortress 1. We got a quick fight going and then a couple of cutscenes, so this will be another great time for donations, which I'm sure we have plenty of.
Oh, we have so many. Great job, everyone. I've got $25 for you from Anonymous, who says, Link has so many lakes to cross. Surely he is bound to come across a lake house. Can we get some rupees for the Alan Wake Lake House incentive? Great reminder, we may have met that Lord of the Rings cosplay incentive, but we also are trying to get $20,000 for that bonus lake house run for Alan Wake 2 later in the night. That is currently $12,000 away about, but that has gone down by several $1,000s in the past few minutes. So y'all can do it. Do you have time for one more?
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Oh, wonderful. I've got $10 for you from Linkus7, who says,
All right.
Linkus7, what happened to Linkus9? Did you eat him?
It's just like Microsoft. Sometimes we skip versions.
Excellent. A simple answer. There you go, Linkus6. Don't worry about it. I've also got $20 for you from Agent Otter, who says, Link is playing Wind Waker? Shut up and take my red rupee. Do you have time for any more?
Like I said, this is a long cutscene. We got plenty of time.
I always forget how long some of these cutscenes are. We've got $25 from Anonymous, who says, a Legend of Zelda limerick. A great swordsman, Link was his name, am I reading this like a limerick correctly? A great swordsman, Link was his name, with his sword that was evil's bane. He defeated some moblins, the sword cut through bokoblins, and with it even Ganon was slain. Very nice, very nice. Also, quick shout out to $1,200. Exactly. From Anonymous. Oh my goodness, so generous. And that was to help us hit 100K, and they just said 100K hype. Exactly. Thank you so much for your generous donations. Do you have time to squeeze in one or two more?
One more.
One more? Perfect. $25 for you from The Jams, who says, good luck to all the runners. May the Triforce be with you.
Thank you. Yeah, so now we're at the end of the cutscene, finally. We still got a couple of cutscenes we can't skip that are kind of, mainline ones. This one we have to kind of watch because we have to get King Red Lions to spawn into the overworld here, or there's going to be some problems later. But if you've watched any previous runs, like for example, HDQ 2020, like I mentioned, the last any % run, so far everything has been very similar, except for doing that first trick fully unbuffered, without pause buffering the game. Everything has been almost the same. This is when things start to change. You would imagine that a 20-plus-year-old game would have everything figured out, especially as broken as Wind Waker. But in the past about 3 or 4 months, the entire game has changed. So starting after this cutscene, the whole route is different until the very end. Nothing would be the same. So if you have not watched Wind Waker in the past 3 months, it's not going to be recognizable, and there are plenty of major skips that have been found. And I actually think while we have one more cutscene going on, the first main glitch that we're coming into, which is called door cancel. I think if you want to talk about that, Trog, because you are very familiar with using door cancel, which is the new thing discovered.
Yeah, so Linkus here is going to get a storage one more time like he's been using before. And he's going to be using storage to interrupt opening a door. And just like how we saw him using it for opening a chest, it's going to alter his collision properties. And so what it's going to end up doing is he's going to cancel the text from the King of Red Lions as he's opening a door. And what that will end up doing is it will remove almost all of his collision. You can walk through walls. You can climb insane geometry. It's going to be really insane.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely broken. If you thought that the chest storage we showed earlier was broken, this one is big. And you're also going to notice that I'm rescuing Tingle, which seems very strange. But here is a very useful item, the Tingle Tuner. So the Tingle Tuner is used in any % runs now. If you don't know, currently in front of me right here, I have a Game Boy Advance connected with a GBA cable. And this is also one of the main things. We're going to get into it later, but there were some huge discoveries made around glitches with the Tingle Tuner which completely changed the route. So the Tingle Tuner and doors are the two things that completely changed this route. So now once I'm finally done with Tingle and we got all of our items that we need around here, it is now time to start setting up these glitches. So it's going to be very hard. Hopefully we can do it. But my first step is pretty much like Trog said, to set up that I can somehow interrupt opening up a door. So I'm going to do that by getting storage. And remember earlier I said that like you can play while certain things are up? We're going to do the same, but with a text. So all that really means is just that I can play while a text box is on the screen instead of being stuck talking to him. And what I'm going to try and do, and this is frame perfect, so hopefully we can get a first try, but we can easily retry otherwise, is I'm going to get the text box up on the screen right now. And then what I have to try and do is open the door and then finish this text box exactly 2 frames after I open it. And if I do that, I get this glitch. So you're going to see right here that I can walk through this pillar, not just like a little bit, but all the way through. Yeah. And that's because when you open up a door in Wind Waker, the game actually gives you no clip, enters the loading zone, and then it's just done. But by canceling it and interrupting it, I will maintain that stage. So all wall collisions that are in front of me, not underneath me, but in front of me, will just not run. So I'm going to get storage here, and then we're going to super swim right there. We can just go underneath the island. Like I said, collision in front of me doesn't exist anymore. So gonna prepare a storage right here. So right now I'm super swimming, but I still have that property I talked about earlier. So I am able to go through walls. So what I'm gonna do here is super swim all the way to the bottom. And what we want to do right now is get the items to beat the game. So there's a very few items you need to actually beat the game. One of them is the DQ Leaf. So we're going to be heading down to Forest Haven now. I'm going to be in this corner right here to try and get an air refill.
This refill can troll you sometimes.
Yeah, air refills
nice.
are not that kind of
Not even close.
There we go. Yeah, it can be a little bit scary. It's not 100%. So now I have enough air. I'm going to go down here. And you're going to see why I wanted the special collision. So it's going to be very broken. So the island is loaded now. I'm at Forest Haven, but remember I have that special collision. So first, getting on top of the island. Very easy. Just going to clip up here. We're at the top right now. We just get teleported thanks to the water. Then I'm going to do this setup right here where I'm going to try and line myself up with this wall here. And that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to line up this texture here, and then if I do a roll and a side hop, I should just clip through the wall and land right here. Then we're gonna slowly walk up here. Now, like I said, the collision is very weird. It will fail to check a collision in front of you, but not underneath you. So what I'm gonna do is this. So I'm gonna do a jump slash and slash my sword very fast. And what's going to happen is Link is going to land on the ground. He's going to fall off because he gets knocked back by the sword. He's going to land on the ground, and I'm just going to be mashing my B button here to continuously do jump slash, to climb this wall all the way to the top. And hopefully, if I got close enough there, when I land on the water, if I got close high enough, otherwise we can retry it. But by getting close to that platform right there, if you land in the water, the game thinks that you were at the top. Unfortunately, I didn't get close enough. So if it thinks you were at the top of Forest Haven and it fell down, to help the casual player, it will just simply respawn you at the very top. Hey, we get to see the slashes again. That's fun. Yeah, so it tries to help the player out by spawning you at the top. So we're going to be able to enjoy that. So I'm going to walk up here again. It's pretty precise because the angle wants to be pretty nearby. That should work. So let's go up another time and hopefully we get this.
And it's important that he enters the loading zone through the top here.
Yeah.
This is the only way we can get the deck relief before the grappling hook.
Yeah, and he's moving very slowly because the slightest little misstep, you go through the collision, as he mentioned earlier.
Yeah, just as easy as it is to, as simple as it looks to go through walls, it's just as easy to go through walls when you don't want to.
Yeah, that's why, yeah, exactly. That's why you don't want to like accidentally clip down. You just want to get to the top. Hopefully that one worked. Really? Okay. Let's do it a third time. That climb is fine. Yeah, you might be wondering why we're even doing this. Like, why don't I just walk through the loading zone? It's right there, right? So, like I said earlier, I want to get the DQ Leaf. Now, to get the DQ Leaf in a vanilla game, you would need the grappling hook. Because when you get to the into Forest Haven, you kill all the chews and the DQ Leaf spawns. There is a checkpoint to kind of make sure you've gotten the items already. So there is going to be a place where you have to use the grappling hook. And since I haven't gotten the grappling hook, I would not be able to do that. I'm gonna just aim more to the right, because I'm too much to the left for some reason.
May I just say, we might not have DJ Pausa, but we do have DJ Jump / Noise, and I'm so here for it.
This looks good. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
there we go. Okay, now the angle worked. I touched the
Get
bottom.
crushed. Nice, got the crush
Beautiful.
too.
Okay, so we get crushed and we respawn at the top right there. There we go. Okay, so now we're at the top, and like I said, the only reason to go to the top is because halfway down the bottom, right? Ooh. It's down there. Down there, there's a grappling hook area, so I have to normally be able to get that. Now, once I'm in here, I need to somehow spawn the DQ leaf, and I could technically just kill these chews normally, but if I were to do that, I would watch a cutscene and spawn at the bottom, undoing the whole glitch I just did. So I have to skip this cutscene, and it is a very complicated cutscene skip. But on a fundamental level, it's not that hard to understand. So the whole concept here is that I want to be voided out at the same time as the cutscene tries to play. Because what's
No right shoes. If
you know this?
if you're not confident, I would roll clip and respawn up top and try again.
Yeah, I think so. So
Yeah.
there's an RNG element here. So anyway, so these chews right here, you can see, actually, I can just showcase because it failed. So these chews are just going to be going forward right now, right? And their AI is pretty much disabled. So what my objective is to push them out of bounds. And once they go out of bounds, they will go really far out of bounds and then despawn. And that counts as them dying, which would be the same as if I were to actually kill them. But it's luck-based which angle they have towards that wall.
And
so because none of them went to the right, I can't do the setup to try and get crushed at the same time, meaning I'm gonna have to reload the room from the top. That's very unfortunate. It's very unlikely that that happens, but it can happen. There we go. So I'm just gonna clip out of bounds on purpose. And this is pretty much what the chews do, by the way. They just go out of bounds, they void out here, and then they're considered dead. Thankfully, like I said, there is at least a backup if you get the bad RNG right there. So we're gonna go around here, I'm gonna try again. So once again, get storage, get them into this glitch state where they're just sliding forward, and then try and set up so that we can get a crush, so.
And that's why we get storage, is it on the chews. It just buys you enough time to get the crush to skip the cutscene. Otherwise, there just really isn't enough time to do it.
So let's see if we get better luck here. So we're gonna store that cutscene so their AI is disabled. Need to get it one more time. Okay, this time we got one on the right, so that's all you need. That's all you need. That was almost unlucky again. So now I have one on the right and I can try the glitch. It's still a very complicated glitch, but so I'm gonna push all of these out. Remember, once they push out, they're gonna slide forward for a while. I'll try and target this guy so you can actually kind of see. Let's see if he wants to push out there. So you can see he goes forward, starts falling down right there, and he despawns. So it's really just a way to make a delayed death happen. Because if you slash them with your sword, they would just die instantly. So what I'm gonna try and do here now, it's very precise, is I'm gonna try and push this last chew out of bounds and then get crushed by this DQ tree. So we're gonna go over here. And then if I time this right, I have to count, so I have to be fully focused here. So I'm gonna do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see if this works.
Looks good.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's see. Nice,
Yep, you
and
got
it
it.
worked. Okay.
Well done.
So I spawn at the top, the cutscene is skipped, and then we're good to go for the DQ leaf. Also, yes, collision, very funky. I'm able to land there. They pick up the DQ leaf, and believe it or not, that's all the items we need in the game now. That's it. I don't need any other items. I have the Tingle Tuner and I have the DQ Leaf, and that is every item you need to be able to beat Wind Waker in 2025. So
To Ganondorf.
yeah, so now we're on to Ganondorf. Which, if you watch previous runs, is very different from it used to be. So when I spawn back in now, you're also gonna see I spawn a Windfall. Basically, Nintendo trying to prevent different sequence breaking will spawn us here. So right now I'm using the Tingle Tuner. So my Game Boy is currently being connected to the thing. That's why it's connected right here with the Game Boy. It's gonna send over, and basically what's on this Game Boy once it's connected is a live updating map, kind of like the Wii U gamepad was. But it also, more importantly, will have a little shop. Very overpriced, but a small shop where like, hey, for 20 rupees, you can buy a red potion, stuff like that. And that's what we specifically want. So once this is connected now, I am ready to start setting up the end game. So to get to the end of the game, I'm gonna wanna try and do the same glitch I did earlier, which is to have a chest, to cancel this door. So I'm gonna store this text box, I'm gonna run over here, and now I'm gonna try and cancel this 2 frames afterwards.
2 in a row,
Got
man.
it, beautiful.
Nice.
That's what 80% of my runs die on, so it's very good to get that back to back. And
good
now
energy.
I'm going to go on down here, and now we're gonna start the super swim. So we're gonna super swim one more time. This is also the last super swim of the run, like that's it. This is the entire overworld. It might feel long because we did take 3 attempts on that Forest Haven climb, but it is very little that we actually do in the game of Wind Waker now in the overworld. We really just get the leaf and that's it. That's the only thing we need. So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna try and get another air refill, similarly to what I did last time. So I'm gonna try and get close to this wall, hold up. There we go.
Linkus, I don't know when you unplug your Game Boy, but now would be a decent time to do an unplug, but...
No, it's fine.
Cool.
Okay. It's fine. Okay, so we're gonna head over here. Now, you're gonna, sure, that works. So, you're gonna notice, like I said, collision, kind of strange with door cancel. So you're gonna see this beautiful way that we can abuse it by, remember I said earlier, there's no collision checks in front of us, but there is underneath us. So what if I just walk very slowly up on walls? So you can see here, instead of walking forward, let's sidewalk, because then it's just checking underneath me. So that let me just kind of walk up any wall that I want, so I can get to the very end of Forsaken Fortress right there. Then we can go here. And this is the loading zone that would take me to Forsaken Fortress 2, which is the midway point in the game. And we can also get up here by doing a couple of rolls. Oop, went a little bit too fast there. So because I went too fast, I saw it as a wall in front of me instead of underneath me. But that's fine, because we can just quickly do this. Slowly gonna be going up here. And that's fine. And now we can jump through the roof, get into the loading zone, and that's FF2.
Nice shot.
Now, we will have one long cutscene here, so if there's any donations, well, okay, there's going to be donations.
There are donations. What a surprise.
Yeah, you can read some right now.
Okay, wonderful. I have $100 here from Totally Gatsby, who says, my 10-year-old has watched every GDQ with us since they were born. They wanted to donate for your best. Yeah-ha-ha! You found me! To keep the love running for...
I'm telling you, your impression is way better than I could ever do, so I don't know if I can even one-up that.
We also have $1,170 from Mama Is Go, who says, we all love Legend of Zelda here. My toddler calls it open chest and wants Linkus to go fast and open chest. Best wishes to Linkus and all the rest of the runners this AGDQ.
I promise I'll go fast. There is unfortunately no more chests to be opened, though.
It's okay, we opened like 2 whole chests. It was really cool.
That's true.
Do you still have time for more?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. I've got $50 for you from OnBrand89, who says, love watching Linkus and how he absolutely crushes Wind Waker. Good luck on the run. Cannot wait for those Alan Wake 2 runs. So let's get the Lake House incentive met, which, by the way, is over halfway there. So only $10,000 to go, everyone. Chad, I know you can do it. I also, would you like more impressions that I'm probably less good at, but...
Let's do it.
Here's $50 from Big Mark 33, who says, thank you!
Hi, Beetle.
Beetle's donating a lot today.
No tingle, though.
No tingle. Oh, come on, let's get a tingle. We also have $100 from Alligator, who says, had to donate during Linkus's Wind Waker run, as it's one of my favorite games. Audience, can you give me a sploosh? Oh, excellent. Thank you so much, everyone.
That was scary accurate, if you do not know the sound effect. I'm very impressed. Oh, that was beautiful. All right, so now we're inside of Forsaken Fortress 2, and one thing I really want to note that is very important is that even though theoretically we could have gotten into Forsaken Fortress 2 with these few items probably 5 or 10 years ago in theory, the reason we've never done it before is because you need a lot of glitches to be able to do the rest of the game with only 3 items. Like everything you see in the top right, that's it, right? So this is another great example. So to beat Helmrock, I would need the Skull Hammer. To get the Skull Hammer, I need the Master Sword, etc., 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 right? It just keeps going on, which is why a lot of things have so many requirements that took so long to get over. So there is no way for me to kill Helmrock, so I have to skip him somehow. Thankfully, the new methods to skip Helmrock have actually gotten quite streamlined. So the first thing I want to do is get behind him for this first phase. So there's 2 phases. There's one here, and then there's one at the top. So I'm going to leaf around and grab the sledge to get behind him. And then what I'm going to do once I'm up here now, and he's kind of, he's waiting for me to attack him with the Skull Hammer, is I'm going to take down my health. And then once I get down to a little bit of lower health like this, I'm going to be doing this specific setup now. Now, shoutouts to EJ behind me. He's actually the one who found this. So you're going to sidle this wall, get damage, 1 sword slash, 2 sword slashes, C up, pause buffer until this frame, and if it worked, when I ledge grab here, I should be able to grab so far into the wall, I can just get underneath the floor and just skip all of the fight. And that's Helmrock. Now once we're here, we can just open up this door, and conveniently as well, while watching this cutscene, we're also going to be getting some free equipment we actually need. So we just got you can see we just got the shield, so thank you, game. Anytime an item, specifically like your sword or shield, is used in a cutscene, if you don't have it, it will just give it to you. And it's very generous like that, and we are going to be using the shield, so that is very convenient. And this is the final cutscene before Hyrule. Now, we're going to have so much to talk about that we can definitely take in a couple of donations before we get into the very glitch-heavy part of the run, if it hasn't already been glitch-heavy, but...
We can always have more glitches. I do have some donations for you, though. I've got $100 for you from Matt Lold, who says, "Hey, Linkus7, can you sign my Wii?"
Sure, of course. It would be my honor.
Also, $25 from Hasfar, who says, "Real ones remember Linkus's infamous McDonald's order from AGDQ 2020.
We don't talk about that one.
It was before my time, so I can't comment.
It was one of the first times I was in America, okay? I wanted to try the whole menu.
Do you have time for
Yep,
one or
one
two
more.
more? One
Let's do
more?
it.
All right, I've got $75 for you from Old Two-Toe Sal, who says, "Oh, I just had to donate for this run. Wind Waker is my all-time favorite game, and the ambiance and soundtrack got me through a lot of really hard times. When you combine that with the fact that Linkus is the first speedrunner I ever watched, I basically had no choice. Thank you."
Thank you.
Beetle had to slip in there one more time.
Ganna liked it, he laughed at it. It was a good one. But yeah, no, now we're heading down to Hyrule. Now, if you've heard anything about Wind Waker speedrunning, I'm sure you've heard about barrier skip. Now, there is actually a new barrier skip that has been found again. But before we get down there and we're at the end of these cutscenes, I think I want to send it over to Trog, because Trog is basically responsible for a lot, if not most, of the barrier skip discoveries in this game. So if you wanna take it away and explain a little bit of the history and how we have gotten to this stage, feel free.
Sure. Well, we'll keep it brief because it's going to be a long talk. But we'll talk about to get through the barrier, we need to do a thing called a seam clip. A seam clip is basically if you can move Link fast enough through 2 different polygons or 2 different walls. You can, in certain situations, pass right through them. And this is essentially what we're doing for barrier skip. It works in other places, but barrier skip here is what we're using it for. In order to do that, you need to have at least 36 units of speed. And so in reference, rolling is 26 units. So no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to roll through the barrier. I don't care how much you try. Okay, so historically what we've done is we have used something called a bomb push clip. where we pull a bomb out, and on a specific frame, we stand in a very specific position, and we drop the bomb behind us. The bomb pushes Link, and we move 52 units of speed. And that's enough, if you're precise enough, to get through the barrier. The new method that got found does not need bombs, hence why we didn't get them, and hence why this saved a lot of time. Because what we found is that if you slash with your sword, and if out of a walk or a roll, you have just enough speed. It's like 40 units of speed just to get right through that seam. So you're gonna see Linkus coming here trying that out.
Yeah, we've definitely come a long way. If you go all the way back to the 2020 run of GDQ, you're gonna see that I did something called actor unloading. Long story short, we did a lot of glitches to make the barrier unload. Then we moved from, okay, we don't have to do the really slow method of unloading it. We can instead clip through it. And now we have gotten to the next stage, which is pretty much just slash through it. Almost intended, but not really. So we're gonna end trial right now. We're gonna get the short cutscene, and then we're gonna get to the back. Now, I'm kind of assuming one thing, so I'm just gonna clarify one thing. So in Hyrule, if you haven't played Wind Waker, it's been a long time, right? You go down to Hyrule 3 times. One time at the start of the game, one time mid through the game, which is where we are technically right now, and one time at the very end. So because you have access to it from the start, the barrier is the way that the developers made sure you couldn't go to the end of the game and sequence break. So when you get to the back here of Hyrule, which you can do, like I said, like a third of the way or to a fourth of the way through the game, you have access to this bridge. You have Ganon's tower over there to the right, and you have this beautiful barrier. So 2 parts to the barrier. The knockback part, this damage part, and then there's an invisible wall. So for the first part, you can actually just skip it by taking out your Wind Waker at the right time. But you can see that there's this kind of invisible wall here that's stopping me from walking. So my objective is to get through this. But this is a solid wall, so I don't have a chest, I don't have a door. I have nothing that I can set up to make it similar to the glitches I've already done. So I'm just gonna tell you the steps, because there's not really any reason for it, because it's so precise. So here we go. So first what we're gonna do is a side hop, roll, backflip, turn around, slash sword, take away sword, turn to the right, roll with the shield, target the barrier, zoom in, wait a second, turn around, zoom in, wait for the camera, turn around, zoom in, turn a couple of frames to the right, blow the leaf, turn a couple of frames to the left, and hopefully if I did that right, we have the correct setup now. We'll see. So what I have to do right now, if I'm in, right now, theoretically, I should be in the right spot with the right visual angle where the 2 invisible walls meet up. And if I did all of that right, hopefully I did, and I can time my frame perfect sword slash. Let's see if we can get it. Slightly off in the angle. We hit the barrier. So this whole setup is pretty much just so we get to the very middle right there where the 2 invisible walls meet up, because there's like a pixel of collision missing in between the 2 invisible walls. And I'm trying to sword slash perfectly in that missing gap.
Yeah, this setup was found partially by a scripting tool that I wrote, and then also partially found by Demon9, who was an old classic runner. So shout outs to him for the first half of this. And the facing direction that he's trying to get here is very precise. So there's 65,000 plus different values you can have for your facing direction. Only 15 of them work for this. The position he's trying to get in is also double float perfect for this particular setup.
Slightly off.
Yeah, and the slash at the end is also frame perfect, because of course it is.
Yeah, so it's a really precise setup. This is why this route is very difficult. It's a super precise setup, and if you do the whole setup right, you have 1 attempt at a frame perfect B input, and if you miss that, you have to do the whole setup all over again, and it is not too fun. I hope Tetra's not pushing me, is she? She's too far.
It's too close to tell, I feel like.
I'm gonna move Tetra. So one thing, so that looked perfect to me. I don't know why that failed, that setup. So it might be that Tetra is pushing me right now. So one annoying thing about Tetra is that she can be pushing you, and if she does, then the trick just won't be working properly. So you try and make sure that she's as far out, but I can't go out of this knockback part. I think that's...
Yeah, that's plenty of space.
That's enough space, there we go. So hopefully that was what was messing it up. Yeah, it's really hard, like I said, it's like... So one thing that he mentioned, by the way, to give you some context to the values, remember 360 degrees is turning around, right? But it's 65,000 values that make up those 360 degrees. And the amount of values that we have a window of there is almost none. So it's very precise. Now that looks right, okay. The last times it didn't look right on that camera right there, so this should, hopefully if I get the frame perfect input, be right. Let's see if we can get it.
There
Got
you
it.
go.
Okay.
Awesome.
Also bye, Tetra, sorry.
We still haven't figured out how to clip her through the barrier yet.
Yeah. No, so you can see right there, so it failed back-to-back right there because Tetra was pushing us. And if you go frame by frame, you can probably barely even see that she was interacting with us because she was pretty far to the right. That's how little of a precision that this glitch is. It is very precise, but it's just barely possible without now any items. You can technically do it without the leaf as well. It's just easier for the setup because we have it anyways. But you could technically just run up, slash your sword, and get through if you made a setup for it. But yeah, that's it. Now we're in Ganon's tower, and we are ready for the end of the game. And this is where the run has its hardest glitch. So we're coming up on the hard part now. So first things first, we're coming up to the trials now. The trials is all the refights right after the game. It wants you to refight the 4 main bosses before you can get to the very end. We don't have any of the items to do that, so I want to try and do something called trial skip. And thankfully that is possible with a combination of very precise positioning and something called a roll clip. So if you climb up very close to a ledge and you roll on the very first frame, you can just barely get out of bounds. And if I do that right in this spot, it's kind of precise, but hopefully we can get it within a few attempts, then I should be able to make it into the loading zone here and skip the trials. Frame late. So we're gonna try and set this up here. Missed it. So the second thing right there, you can see by the way I'm pressing A and leaf. So normally when you have the leaf out, you're losing a ton of height. And we want to kind of avoid that. But every time you take out the leaf, you actually get a height boost. So every single time right there, I have to do very, very precise leaf pumps by canceling my leaf and then taking my leaf back out again over and over again so that I can maintain my height so that I can get to the very end there. Because if I don't, then I'm just not making it there. So we're going to go up here. We're going to target this again, and hopefully we can get it again.
You're getting the hard part.
Yeah, I'm getting the hardest part.
While we go back to setup again, can I squeeze in a quick donation?
100%.
That was by request. Here's $50 from Twilight Realm, who says, "Tingle, tingle, kululimpa."
That was beautiful. Thank you.
Tingle.
Thank you. It's very appropriate that Tingle is getting some love right now because Tingle is actually about to make his grand appearance in this run. Finally, has been waiting. So if I get this clip quickly, let's just get it right now. Why not? If I get the ledge grab part. I have to do this very precisely because I have to partially clip through the wall once, then a second time with my roll, and then the leaf pumps. It's like basically 3 tricks in one. So hopefully... I'm not clipped enough. I have to get some more magic. You can do one more donation quickly before we get to the next part.
Oh, of course. Here's $10 from Vicarious Vice, who says, "I don't know about Ganondorf, but if I saw this angry child hurtling towards me through the ocean, I would be terrified." Me too, buddy. Do you have time for one more? Oh no, you got the trick. Oh, wonderful.
Nice.
Okay. That took long to answer.
Perfect.
Okay. Now, quick story time here. So, Wind Waker, we have known for over 10 years that you can theoretically skip the second final boss fight, Puppet Cannon. And it has either never been done, or it's been slow or inconsistent. Definitely not marathon safe. And the reason why it's so difficult is because we need to do a glitch called a zombie hover. But it wasn't possible to do before without relying on a lot of luck. But the Tingle Tuner solves that issue, but it doesn't work in Ganon's Tower. But what a community member found was a forum post from 10 years ago. And this casual player 10 years ago found out that if you have your Game Boy Advance already connected, you unplug it from your console, and you plug it back in, you get the symbol back, but it still doesn't work. But if you then unplug it a second time and plug it in again, now the Game Boy Advance works in Ganon's Tower, even though it shouldn't. And this random Redditor has officially made it possible to break the end of the game. So we're gonna try and do a lot of glitches back to back, so I'm gonna have to focus a little bit here, but what we're gonna do first is a glitch called a zombie hover. So I'm going to take down to 0 health. And I'm going to start mashing. Now, if you want to explain zombie hovering quickly while I'm doing this, EJ, you can, because I have to listen to this.
Yeah, sure. So basically, when you die, there's a 10-frame window where you can input pretty much anything. And one of those things could be a jump slash. And the game recognizes that you're dead, so it does immediately cancel that jump slash, try to send you back down. However, you gain just enough height where if you spam the jump attack over and over again fast enough, you can infinitely just gain height forever and ever and ever. And now Linkus here is going to use the Tingle Tuner that he now used to use the new glitch for, and then heal, and then grab the top with his door. Easy peasy.
Nice.
There we go. Okay. And if you're wondering why I was leaning forward right there, I have to listen to the Game Boy Advance speaker because it's not that loud. It's not able to overpower this, huge room. So I have to really lean forward right there because I have to listen to when the heal kicks in because there's a bit of a delay. So I heal right there with the red potion. It works just like a normal potion. It heals me. It makes me survive the zombie hover, which EJ explained. And now we're at the final tower. Now, when we're here, we have 2 major glitches left, or 3. So first things first, I need to get down my health again because I will be having to do another zombie hover later on. What I also need to make sure of is that I have my Game Boy Advance connected, which I do through unplugging it and replugging it again. Because every time you go through a loading zone, then it kind of fixes that bug I just did earlier. So now we have the Tingle Tuner again. And then we get to the top. I can't take any more damage, so I have to be careful. Okay. And now I get to the top. Now, what I need to do is the first thing I need to do, this is, like I said, like a combo glitch where it's just glitch after glitch after glitch. The first thing I need to do is get out of bounds. So I'm going to sidle up on this wall and align myself up. And hopefully, if I do this right, if I leaf over here and then grab this pillar and then go to the right and climb up at the right spot, I should be able to clip out of bounds right here. Or fall down. Very nice. That's very unlucky. I should go over here. He shouldn't be able to see me again. So you can see right there that he kind of just let go because that ledge you're not supposed to be able to hold it properly. But if you grab the ledge to a specific spot, he will be able to just barely grab it. So hopefully we get it right here. So I'm gonna walk here. And there we go. So now I'm out of bounds. So this is the first part. Now I need to walk around, not fall down, and not get back into bounds. And here's the difficult part. So I need to side hop into this loading zone right there and be exploded by a tingle bomb within 2 frames. If I am off that 2-frame window, I have to reload my save file and redo this whole floor again. So hopefully we don't, but there is not really a way. You cannot pause buffer it. You cannot do a setup for it. It is literally just feeling based. Jump to the left, have a feel for it, and do it within a 2-frame window. And if I do that, I have another glitch following up. So let's see if we can get this window.
Nice.
Got the first glitch, okay?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
And now we have one more, which hopefully my nerves will not let me fail. So here we go. Let's see if we can do this. Yep. Okay, so now, you remember earlier that zombie hover? Well, now I have a zombie hover that is about 1.5 minutes because I'm hovering to the very top of this arena. I also don't have a free hand, so I'm gonna have to use my nose right here to change the equipment on my Game Boy Advance. One more up, left, B. There we go. Okay, and now we just have to keep mashing. Now, I'm really fighting gravity here, so because I'm basically able to do a jump slash, but gravity is pushing me down, if I'm mashing about 8 to 9 times per second, I will just go straight forward. So to be able to gain height for this hover, I want to be hovering around 13, 14 times per second, which is why it sounds a little bit like, why is he talking so weird? I'm quite tense up right now to be able to do this hover. Now though, when we're at the top, we should be able to activate this heel. And I do need to take my headset off again and listen to the speaker. It will take about 15 seconds because it is glitched, but in about 15 seconds, the heel should kick in.
Yeah, normally the healing happens earlier.
Hold on. Okay. Oh.
Home free, Linkus.
Okay. Sorry, it's a really bad speaker. I had to really listen up. Okay. And now we're at the final boss, and I got my workout. Whew, okay. But yeah, that's all you need for Wind Waker. And now we're at the final boss. Hi, Ganon. And you can also see, by the way, thank you, game. We do need some more equipment, but thankfully this cutscene uses the Master Sword and Mirror Shield in your hand, so we just get it gifted to us from the game. So we never had to really go out of our way to get that. So it's in our hands. It's good. It's done. And then, yeah, now we have the last cutscene. We have a traditional thing coming up later in this cutscene, but before we get to that part, if we have like 2 or 3 final donations for the run, now would be a great time to do it.
Oh, you know we do. We have... Sorry. We have $50 from Anonymous, who says, I saw that Wind Waker painting and I had to pause and drop a donation. Well, thank you for bringing back the pause. And yes, if you would also like to check out some of our prizes, the Wind Waker painting is very pretty. I'm not biased at all. Do you have time for one more?
Absolutely.
All right, I've got one more impression for you. $25 from 10K per year, who says, hey, GDQ, I'm secretly donating to my husband's favorite game while he sits across from me, hoping we can get a hoi train going. Less than 3.
Thanks.
Hoi! Thank you, everyone.
Was it hoy or oi?
They said hoi. I always say oi, but you know, I
It
can
is
hear
technically
both.
oi, but...
Is it technically oi?
Technically oi, but...
Oi.
Oi!
This has been a wholesome moment. Thank you, everyone, for sharing with us.
Of course, yeah. And also, thank you, everybody, so much for donating. We're at $111,000 right now.
We sure are.
Incredible job, everybody. All right, now I'm coming up for this last one. If you ever watched one of my Wind Waker runs before, you will know a tradition. Now, Ganon is about to have a little bit of a midlife crisis when he realizes, I'm not getting this Triforce. And he has the best voice-acted laugh track I have ever heard. So I want everybody in this room, I want every single one to laugh along and at home. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Come on, couch. What was that? I know Twitch chat did it well, though. Good job, everybody at home. I know you guys kept me proud. Thank you, everybody. And back in the crowd. Thank you, everybody. All right, final boss fight. Hopefully I don't die. If we do, it's really bad. But we should be fine. One nice thing about using a Tingle Tuner is that we get 3 hearts. So I get 2 hits before I'm dead. And there is no grappling hook. There's no bottles. There's no recoveries. So we just have to hope for the best. So yeah, here we go. Final boss fight. This should take only about 1 minute if we're fast. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, let's do it. So, first phase coming up. For the first phase, you need to deal a certain amount of damage, and once you've dealt a certain amount of damage to Ganon, you have to have Zelda shoot her arrow at him. And you get that through either waiting for a while or from talking to Zelda. That is not good. I am going to play a little bit safe here. Zelda, please come over here. So yeah, you want to press A to talk to her. So hopefully that's enough damage. There we go. So once you had enough damage and he gets hit with the light arrow, it activates the second cutscene. Now I need to deal a certain amount of damage, and once I've done that amount of damage, Zelda will just stand up. So I'm gonna try and time these flurry rushes here. There we go, that should be enough damage, hopefully. And now we just need to have Zelda have good aim and not hit us. And time will be, by the way, once our sword goes into Ganon's head. So there's the light arrow. And time. Okay. Whew. Sub 1 hour.
Let's go.
Nice, all right. You getcha. Thank you everybody so much. Thank you everybody so much for watching. What a run. Definitely, there was a couple of mistakes along the way, but this is a very hard run to do in a marathon. Already it's a hard run to just do a no reset of and then being in a different setup, but I got sub 1 hour, which is the goal. This is the first time I've been able to do a sub 1 hour at a marathon, so that's really good. I'm really happy about that run, and even though, you know, some tricks took a few attempts, still got to show everything off. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys definitely did enjoy it. If you want to see awesome Zelda content, you should definitely check me out on YouTube or Twitch, Linkus7. I make a lot of content on pretty much the entire Zelda franchise. And more specifically also, if you're interested in Wind Waker, not only do I have a lot of content in Wind Waker, and not only do I speedrun it, but there's an amazing community around Wind Waker. The two people on the couch, like, it's just two people. There are dozens and dozens of people. Do you guys have anyone you want to make sure to shout out in the community?
You go first.
Sure, yeah. I mean, there's like Mini, huge runner, and also Glitch Hunter. Azer, huge Glitch Hunter, Router.
Yeah, half the stuff, yeah, Azer.
I think, you know, before, you know, the big thing that Linkus mentioned is that, you know, this run changed a lot recently, and it's become a lot more accessible and, you know, consistent.
Yeah.
But before that, you know, any percent used to be a really difficult category, extremely difficult, not safe at all. And
Yeah.
runners like, you know, Aloha Kirby, Awabi, Demon, Linkus2 used to run that route, you know, kind of push that to its, you know, brinks. But now, you know, we're safe.
Yeah, never would have thought we would have seen Puppet and Skip in a game's done quick. It's really cool.
Yeah. And I also wanna give a huge shout out to Trog for making this berry skip and so many of the discoveries we have found in the past years possible. He has written programs to run thousands of simulations of Wind Waker to check every value imaginable, spending weeks and months on it. So huge shout out to Trog and the whole community as a whole for making this all possible. It's all a community effort. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, crowd, for being here. Thank you for watching at home. I appreciate you all so much. And hope you enjoy the rest of GDQ. Thank you so much for having me.